Alright, good morning YouTube. On today's agenda, we are going to be removing all of this screen slash sun porch thingy. And the goal is to turn this into a deck. So we're going to remove the plywood from the floor eventually. As you can see, it's kind of dirty. And I also have to try and pressure wash the brick so that we can get it back to the original color that's like over there. Eventually we're going to be replacing all of the windows downstairs. You can see that this is like the original window, wood window from the house. And once the windows are replaced, I am going to be wrapping all of the wood so that I don't have to paint it. I don't know if you guys can see that window over there, but the sill is ready for sanding and painting, but I'm going to wrap all that in metal so that I don't ever have to do that again. But for starters, let's remove the deck. As you can see, I've got all the glass panels taken out. I actually removed the door that was there, and you'll notice that we have no steps, and we never have since we bought the house. So also part of this project is going to be building a landing pad using the existing foundation. So then I'm gonna have to build steps down. You'll hit the landing and then you'll turn left and go down into the rest of the yard. So wish me luck. Alright, and just to give you guys an appreciation of how high that is, we have a walkout basement here, and the deck is actually elevated one level. So I'm actually going to be climbing on top of the roof of this thing to unscrew it. As you can see, I already have the ladder pulled out over here. I'm just not really sure if the metal roof of that thing can support my weight. It's certainly not very structural. So I'm a little nervous about getting up there. But eventually I am going to pressure wash all of the lumber. All of this lumber will stay existing. I just want to strip all the paint off and get it down to the natural wood so that I can stain it, and hopefully it'll make for a nice deck down the road. I am gonna have to climb out this window, and as you can see, this is the top of the current porch setup, and I'm gonna climb out the window because I have to unscrew the screws from the top of the metal, and this is where I get nervous. So now we're outside the house, as you can see, and this is the part where I have to step down onto this roof, and I've gained a little weight. I am just not sure if it is gonna hold me up, and I'm noticing a shingle. I've developed a technique. I can kind of put one foot down. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but it's pretty bouncy, so I don't want to put all my weight on it. But what I'm having to do is pull the leaves out of the crack, and the screws are down in the pit and some are on top, and now they're covering them with caulk, so it makes it a little more difficult to get out. But every rib has a screw, so that's how far I've made it. But what I'm doing is keeping a knee on the gutter here and just kind of inching my way back, you know, one at a time, pulling the screws out. Seems to be the safest method, so hopefully I won't die. That's the window that I climbed out of this morning. So now I just have to hopefully take these walls down, and then it'll be time to fire up the pressure washer and hopefully get rid of this paint. I'm gonna have to hire a mason to come repoint the brick, because I think when I'm pressure washing it's gonna blow out the mortar here, and I am not good at masonry work. And I don't know if you can notice, the mortar on the rest of the house is like a reddish tint, so I want to make sure whoever does it can match it pretty well. And like I said, all the wood trim around the windows will get wrapped with metal, kind of like the second floor windows. I don't know if you can tell, but they're all wrapped nice with metal. Alright, we have all the walls down. I still have to take some of these trim pieces off and this electrical conduit. So they ran an outlet out here. I'm gonna redo the wiring inside and replace that with, get rid of the conduit. And I have these trim pieces here on the side and along the bottom to take off. But I am going to try to get the trim on the wall off and maybe this conduit, and I want to start the pressure washer. I had to carry all that stuff to the front. It was all in a pile down there in the yard. I'm like absolutely exhausted right now just from carrying this stuff. So our yard's like super hilly. But it looks good. I like having open air much better than I do like this enclosed room, so I'm super excited to get the deck done. I'm not real sure what I'm going to put on the floor yet, if it's going to be Trex or if I'm just going to use regular pressure treated planks, but I think I might do some Trex decking with some vinyl handrail. I really wish I could find a vinyl that was cream colored, because I'd like the handrail to match the cream on the rest of the house. I really like the red brick and the cream combination. I'm scared that if I get a white handrail, it's gonna like be super standouty. When you were in the backyard before looking at the house, this white sunroom really stood out against the red brick. I never liked it. So alright, let me get back to work. Emily and Madison are actually in the living room right now removing plaster and lath, so you can see the pile they got going on down there of lath. So they're working their little butts off. I put little cushions on top of the air conditioning units because I didn't want them to get damaged. But yeah, that's the new central air we installed for the first floor and basement, and then one for the second floor unit. Work. Alright, so as you guys can see, I am currently not pressure washing because I believe the carburetor is gummed up on the pressure washer, so the wall is going to remain white for the rest of today. And I have to run to the hardware store, get a new spark plug, and get some carburetor cleaner, which is a buzzkill, but I'm completely exhausted. I did spray this off with a hose because I think we're gonna go get some bratwurst and some beers and just have a nice little chill dinner out here. Of course, we'll have to be careful because there's no railing. I started a little sample piece right here. Well, I guess this is the first test. I took the pressure washer to it, and as you can see, it was just pressure washing out all of the mortar. And I'd planned on repointing the brick anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but obviously I didn't want to blow away all the bricks. So then I went and bought this paint removal product. It's like a gel you paint on, and then you have to hand scrape everything off. And then, like an idiot, I was using a wire brush in my drill and it started leaving this black stain on the brick. So now I learned my lesson. I just need to use the gel hand scrape and then maybe use like a rough grit sandpaper to get down to the nitty gritty. But this is gonna take absolutely forever to do this entire wall, so I'm not looking forward to it. But when it's all done, I guess we'll have a nice deck, but shoot me in the face. Yeah. But I am absolutely freaking wore out. I know the girls are wore out too, because they spent all day in the living room removing plaster and lab, and that's just not a fun job. So it's a beautiful day. We're gonna go relax the rest of the afternoon. Thanks for watching. And I have nobody to do oh yeah by myself, solo.